Of this best of 5, the series is tied up 1-1, and spawning in the top left position, representing FX Open, we have none other than Strelok. His opponent in the bottom right-hand corner of Achelon Wastes, ladies and gentlemen, the red Terran player representing Mouse Sports, we have HeroMarine.
I still think we should one time, maybe next game, if it does end up going to game 5, we should do the GSL voice intros or the Street Fighter voice intros.
Street Fighter voice.
Like we sometimes used to do.
My Asian Street Fighter voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm up for that.
You saying VVV Xiaohyang. That is something.
Oh yeah, Xiaohyang, your favorite player in the world.
Hey, I nailed the pronunciation eventually, did I not?
You did. Yeah, you did. 4 months later, but you did. Yeah.
Oh, you. Hey, my Korean is not as good as it used to be. Actually, it's never been any good. Anyway, guys, TVT, Achelon Wastes, Strelok versus HeroMarine. The openers are looking quite the same. We see Strelok now grabbing his gas, and HeroMarine actually not grabbing a gas just yet. Is going to be scouting. Could still be grabbing that gas in a second, or he could be going for an expansion play.
Yep, HeroMarine at the moment is looking like he's leaning towards a 1 Rax gasless expand build, whereas in the meantime, we see Strelok. He is going to be taking that gas early on, so he could be going into a Reaper for a bit of scouting, or he's just going to go into an earlier factory. We'll wait and see. Options are open for him, and still no gas taken from HeroMarine, so he should be expanding from here.
He is going to be expanding. Of course, he's not going to choose to do a proxy Rax 3 minutes into this game. I don't really see that happening. The SEV out of HeroMarine is now working away at the supply depot very viciously. There is a Marine going to be popping out and might be able to block that, that SEV in. Nah, the SEV should be fine. Should be able to get out of there. HeroMarine, ooh! I said it so casually, like, he should be able to get out of there fine. And then I was like, oh, well, it's going to be close. And then I just tried to make it sound like I actually knew that was going to happen.
That's the Jack Bauer SCV, man. No problem. I got this under control. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I wonder if he's got
us. Jack Bauer quote.
I wonder if he's this SCV has got as hot of a daughter as Jack Bauer has.
I don't. You know, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but the day I found out that the actress who plays Kim Bauer is the same actress from the movie The Girl Next Door, my heart was broken because she was so much hotter in The Girl Next Door. Go check that movie out. Just saying.
Yeah, I've seen it. Don't worry. I've seen The Girl Next Door.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, I didn't know it was the same actress for a while because Kim Bauer, frankly, is almost always like a hostage of some description in the earlier series. And always like has dirt all over her face and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, it's the same girl. I didn't even know.
It's a good movie, The Girl Next Door. It's one of those movies that you watch with your mates when you're out and, you know, when you're preparing to go for a night of clubbing or something and you want to enjoy a casual movie with a few beers. That's the kind of movie you'll watch. So, movie tips from Jurasar and Lurlian. And now we're going to be going back to StarCraft action because Strelok, he's opening with the starport and going into attack lab. Probably Banshees. Why don't you tell us what HeroMarine's up to?
That's right, and in the meantime, HeroMarine, he's got his factory up, and he's getting a reactor on his barracks, so we could be seeing a bit of Widowmine play, could be seeing still some Hellbat play from him, we'll find out. But one thing that's really cool about how Strelok is playing this game, guys, look at where he's placing his buildings. He has the reactored factory of his base. He has the starport over to the right. The reason he's doing this is because he doesn't want a single scan to be able to spot all of his tech. He wants to keep HeroMarine guessing.
Yeah, he wants to keep him in the dark, which is exactly what you want to do, of course, with a cloaked Banshee build like this. The more unexpected it is, the more damage it will generally do. 4 Hellions now at the front. Oh my God, 4 Hellions versus 4 Marines. Guess how that's going to turn out?
Oh dear, I think barbecue is about to ensue.
Oh wow, that was a really nice shot.
Oh dear. Oh, managing to get 2 Hellions, actually, there. Might have been able to micro a bit better, but all 5 Marines ultimately should go down here. And oh my goodness, are the Marines going to win? No, the Hellions win, but only just 6 hit points left on that last one. And I think that's a decent trade for HeroMarine on the grounds that he has his second orbital up and ready, and he's looking for a safe time to put it down to the natural expansion. So the extra speed those Hellions have are no longer going to be a factor.
Yeah, good point you're making there, Jurasar. But taking all those Marines out is gonna make it so easy for this cloaked Banshee to do maximum damage. There are 4 Marines out on the field. The engineering base now finished, but are there any scans? That's the most important question. There are. There is a single scan in store, and 4 Marines are out. That should be enough to kill the Banshee.
Yep, I think so. Banshee popping in now, trying to get as much damage done as he can, but it is being chased away just outside of scan range. It's not going to go down, but it has less than half health.
Yeah, it does. Actually, I was hoping that in the Heart of the Swarm they would... I'm going out on a limb here, but it is a general concern that when a Banshee gets out of detection range, but the Viking has already fired, the missiles will not do any damage. We just saw that happening. And when that happens, I feel like the Viking missiles should just miss the Banshee midair. Like, the missile should just hit the ground or something. That would be a really cool physics effect that would really fit the style of things that Blizzard have been doing with physics in Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, and there it goes again. So, the Banshee taking a direct hit, but somehow dodging it. So it looks like basically doing some Star Trek style shields up, Captain. Not really sure what's going on there, but you're right. It would be cool to have the missiles maybe shoot past it and go wildly into the air, like the tracking system's gone off on something. That'd be pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, they're cloaked. That's why they miss. They're out of detection range, so they're cloaked, and the missiles do no longer know where the target is, I guess. So the missile should just, boom, hit the ground with an explosion. That would be one of those cool physics things that would really impress me. Like the Reaper thing, where the Reaper was jumping up to the high ground, got killed in midair, and just exploded all over the ridge. That was cool. That's cool. That's one of those things that make you look at the game and be like, wow, that's cool.
Definitely, man. Like, the death animations are so entertaining in Heart of the Swarm. I could, look at the different ways a queen can ragdoll when she actually gets killed, for so long. And that Cloaked Banshee trying to bait a scan, successfully baits that scan, but will not successfully avoid the Viking, and that looked like a pretty violent explosion.
Yeah, that's a Ooh, look at that Marine gonna be baiting out the Widowmine, but there's no Widowmine!
Ouch, that second one did a lot of damage, and now a couple of Hellions can pick off pretty much the rest of the Marines, but there are 3 siege tanks behind. And 1 siege tank on the high ground is going to attempt to stop this push from HeroMarine.
Oh, the Raven goes down, but does drop an auto turret. The auto turret not doing too much damage, so the Widow Mines are going to come back online in just a second, Jurasar. Oh, I think they might be able to hit the...
Oh, that was so close. That was so close. And one thing to note, by the way, during that engagement, guys, we have no armory for Strelok, which is why those Hellions couldn't become Hellbats and try and tank some more damage and fend that off more easily.
I don't even know what you just said, man. I almost got a heart attack about how close that was. If those 2 Widow Mines would have gone off cooldown just 2 or 3 seconds earlier, they would have done so much damage to that tank. They would have been able to kill one and soften up another really badly. That could have definitely had a big impact on the game, because in the mid game the tank numbers are pretty low, and it takes a lot of effort to get more tanks out because you're only on 2 bases. So taking out a tank in the early to mid game, much more important than taking 1 or 2 out in the late game.
Exactly. And Strelok rectifying that little weakness in his army composition a bit earlier by quickly grabbing that armory now. So if we take a look at the production structures at the moment, we can see that HeroMarine has a fair amount of stuff up. He's going, of course, for the predominantly bio composition. He's got 4 racks in a factory, whereas we have 4 factories and 1 barracks out for Strelok. The main question is who's going to be able to get and keep mining their 3rd base sooner, because right now it's pretty much neck and neck as far as those supplies go.
Yeah, supplies really even. As of this point, the economic advantage slightly in HeroMarine's favor, but once again, a super even game. I mean, I tried naming a favorite, you tried naming a favorite. It's difficult because the games are so close. Oh,
and this could be interesting. Stim is about to finish in 5 seconds for HeroMarine here, and temporarily at least, he actually has the same number of tanks as Strelok. So Strelok trying to power up on his mech composition to get a crazy number of tanks and Hellbats right now. But if HeroMarine hits right now, just as Stim's finished, he might be able to get some damage done. The 2 Widow Mines going into position at the natural expansion. This is exactly what HeroMarine's going to do. Sieging up his tanks slightly earlier as well. Gets the first volley off. And this isn't doing too badly. Retreating the bio so that the splash damage does minimal effect. But here come the Hellbats.
Here come the Hellbats, they take all the siege tanks down, and the bio actually died because they ran into the 2 burrowed Widow Mines at the top right.
No. Oh,
yep,
yes.
That happened.
But another drop into the main base, though, with 2 Vikings as support. HeroMarine needs to try and put some direction to this quickly, but attack already sieged up in the main base from Strelok, who has actually fended this off quite well indeed. The 2 Vikings will be able to defeat the 1, and he'll get out with the medevacs, but not before dropping the natural once again. This is the problem with having tanks needing to unsiege and siege up again. Number of workers killed, 7 to 1.
Yeah, so some workers are going down. The worker count now heavily in favor of HeroMarine, up by about 12 workers. So even though this might not be the most cost efficient, ooh, pick that up. And yes, he does pick it up. Is he going to fly over any of those Widow Mines? No, he's not going to be making a mistake like that. The 2 Vikings are very weak, but not so weak that they cannot pick off this 1 barracks here. Might be able to get it to burn, and it will slowly go down. And when that barracks dies, that's going to disable Strelok from adding on any more factories. So ideally, he would want to keep that alive, but it's not the biggest deal if it does end up dying.
Repair. No. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. It's not the absolute biggest deal. Bits of that barracks falling on the cliff and bits falling by the wayside. We have an SCV just chilling out in the natural expansion of HeroMarine. He's having absolutely none of that. We'll send a completely disproportionate army to pick that off. And in the meantime, +2 vehicle weapons have started for Strelok.
Yep, the upgrades are coming along nicely for our blue Terran player in the top left. He's got +1 already finished up, and +2, as you pointed out, is coming out. How are the upgrades looking for HeroMarine? +1 finished up on his bio, but he should not forget about the upgrades for his mech. We saw it in last game, how that really hindered him in the late game. He just didn't have any mech upgrades, and his siege tanks just did absolutely nothing compared to the siege tanks of Strelok.
Yeah, you're completely right there. He needs to make sure he gets a decent number of upgrades into the late game here. We see Strelok attempting to do some damage with a double Hellbat drop into the mineral line and deciding to fly straight into a missile turret, but the Hellbats do actually get dropped. Number of SCVs currently killed, 11 to 6 in this game in favor of HeroMarine, and the worker supply is 77 for HeroMarine versus 64 of Strelok, so his economy is completely intact and healthy.
The economy looking good for the HeroMarine. He is still up 10 workers, and I think Strelok knows it. He wants to force something here. He is pushing, and he has arguably better upgrades. I mean, mech upgrades just mean so much, but Bio has the maneuverability. The siege tanks are not sieged up. This could be the engagement that HeroMarine was hoping for.
Oh, but HeroMarine didn't actually stim in to try and take out the tanks first. It doesn't look like it's going to matter, though, because his concave with his Marauders is absolutely beautiful, and that completely resets the mech army for Strelok, and right now he has got to be scrambling. All he has for defense at his natural, okay, he has got 2 siege tanks now, but other than that, he had 2 Widow Mines and 3 supply depots. They don't shoot very far.
The supply depots considered a pretty weak combat unit in general, so they're not going to be contributing too much to this fight.
They can lower and then raise and like punt a unit off a cliff, maybe.
They might cause them to trip and hit their heads on the sand, which is not okay.
It's a good point. It's sand as well. You can't even do that. Damn, they've thought of everything.
They thought of everything. There's a Hellion on the high ground here in a really good position that sees the entire army of HeroMarine retreat, and that's going to give Strelok some room to breathe. He was like, oh my god, I'm being attacked! And then he saw the army moving back, and he was like, okay, I can relax. I can try to take my 4th base. I can work on my economy a little bit more. I can try to get back into this game, because the last engagement was horrible for me. I was not sieged up. HeroMarine had the mobile Marauders and the better spread. That's why I lost that engagement, and he's gonna try to recover from that.
He is indeed. The problem is, HeroMarine right now, he's at 193 supply versus the only 150 from Strelok. He's trying to make his upgrades work, but this time HeroMarine has 2-2 about to finish up. So he's actually not doing too badly at the moment, and the tanks are sieged up significantly earlier this time for Strelok in this potential engagement. HeroMarine is going to go for it. He has a lot of Marauders in this army composition. Is it going to be enough? Now the Hellbats managing to tank a lot of damage here with more Hellions in the back morphing in right now. The number of tanks on the field for both players are 6-4 in favor of Strelok, and he successfully holds his attack.
He holds the attack, and the drop comes in for Strelok. Starts to drop those Hellbats into the mineral line. Good reaction here out of HeroMarine. Immediately pulls his SCVs back, and the Hellbats only managed to get 1 or 2 kills. HeroMarine is not done yet, though. He is pushing into the 3rd base of Strelok, but there's siege tanks on the high ground. There's I thought there were Widow Mines, but I think they got picked off before they could burrow, and this small bio army is taking out the supply depots that were there to defend.
That's right, those Marauders can actually take them out very, very quickly indeed. With Stim, that DPS is not shabby at all. Strelok just about getting it in time to save that command center, but in the meantime, finally, the drop gets picked off. Number of workers killed, though, like you said, Lillian, not too many, 13 to 11.
Someone in chat pointed out to something that happened like a minute ago and said that Hellion was like my car. It takes 20 seconds to get moving, and when it starts to move, it explodes.
That is actually brilliant.
Oh, that's a really good quote. Okay.
But does it explode as in, like, it's going really quickly, like your gas is stuck? Or is it more like the engine just dies promptly and it stalls again? We'd love to know whether it's one or the other, because obviously if it explodes, is it exploding out of the blocks or does it just not work? Big difference, man.
Some valid points Jurosar is asking there, and I expect Okie Pokey to answer that in all seriousness. As we see HeroMarine now completely maxed out, his superior economy that he had for the start of this game is definitely starting to show as he's maxed out, and Strelok is not. But Strelok still has his upgrades that he can pretty much rely on. He has +2/1 on his mech, whereas the mech upgrades for HeroMarine are only 1/0, so he's down 2 full upgrades.
And Strelok at the moment is technically up a base. He's just going over with a triple drop to check this planetary fortress that's morphing in at the 5th. And I think that's going to prompt HeroMarine here immediately to drop all of those units. And there goes the 5th base. Meanwhile, we simultaneously have a push into the 3rd. There are 3 siege tanks, but not much else. HeroMarine, he had no way... Oh, actually, he got a scan out there. He decided not to stim in. Interesting. He might have been able to pick off those tanks, but he wasn't sure what was behind.
No, he wasn't. He was starting to make something happen there. Decided not to really commit. He did get to scout a little bit. Does get to see this entire army move out. There is a Marauder at the watchtower, and he sees the entire army. Scans going down everywhere, and both players still juggling for position in the middle of the map.
Yeah, I think HeroMarine has the better map control at the moment. Although I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't taken much of an active interest in holding those central watchtowers. They are so unbelievably helpful. Another 2 Hellbats getting dropped in this in the natural rather. Third base location. They get picked up pretty quickly though. And we have a little bit of an engagement here by the left watchtower. Strelok moving out of his base.
Yep, Strelok is finally moving out. That's one of the first times we see him being aggressive. HeroMarine has been the aggressor all game long, and Strelok's just been sitting back and trying to defend as well as he could. Ooh, we got some really good Widowmine positioning here. That's a lot of dead Marines.
Yep, killing off all 3 of those Widowmines, but that came at a decent cost. The medevacs getting taken out here. That's really important, because the number of medevacs out on the field for HeroMarine right now, Lillian? 1.
1. Oh, I love
the loneliest number, man.
Yeah, it's the loneliest number in the world, 1. And this is not looking good for HeroMarine. I'm not really sure why he wants to push into Strelok so badly. He is losing things left and right. He only has 1 medevac left because it got picked off so nicely. There's not that many siege tanks for him. Strelok has a really good defensive position, even though it looks a bit messy to me, his defensive position.
Yeah, he doesn't even have the enough spare medevacs to basically constantly drop, which is something you would see out of a lot of bio-Terrans in this situation. You would just send 3 medevacs straight into the main, or 3 medevacs into the 3rd base, and just try and pick off command centers left, right, and center. But HeroMarine is doing the same thing Strelok is doing. He's parking himself in one place and not moving. Now that's very risky, considering, oh, never mind, we have another, oh, wow, Hellion's going into the 3 o'clock expansion here, and they're able to roast a couple of messages. Once again, not too many. I mean, he's got a decent amount of damage done. The problem is Mouse Marine is still on 50 SCVs, and he's reproducing them potentially very quickly, along with battle cruisers.
Yep, the Fusion Core was scouted by that Hellion run-by that we saw happen into the 4th base of HeroMarine. So the Fusion Core has been seen, so the reaction out of Strelok should obviously be to produce a few Vikings, a few more than he already has. He does have 9 Vikings right now, which is not a bad number to be at, but when that battlecruiser number starts to get really high, 9 is of course not going to be enough.
And here we go. It looks like the right-hand side base, the newest base from Mouse Marine, is going to have to move away. In fact, it's actually going to get taken out by these Vikings here. We've got the army from HeroMarine trying to move in and engage now, but all the tanks are preemptively sieged up, admittedly quite far away. So yeah, both sides backing off for now.
Yeah, we see the red player currently on the... Oh, this is not a good Viking fight But for Strelok to be taking, that was a little bit weird for him to engage into that. There were way more Vikings for HeroMarine. And of course, Battle Cruiser is here. That was the worst Battle Cruiser voice imitation I have ever heard. But
wow, where did that come from? We do actually need to see weapon refit, though. In all seriousness, you have the Battle Cruiser online now, and it's out in no man's land. What are you doing? Oh well, that was that.
Okay, well, that was the end of the Battle Cruiser. I think HeroMarine didn't like it anyway and wanted to get rid of it for some reason.
Refit, man. Yamato Kaden against the tank line, so annoying.
Nice drops here on the siege tanks with the units in that medevac. Was able to kill 1 or 2 siege tanks there, but there were still 2 Marauders in that medevac that didn't get to unload. And once again, HeroMarine being the aggressor or the defender. How do you want to put this, Jorasar? He is defending his 5th base, but he is also kind of the offender to the 5th base of Strelok.
Well, here's what's weird. We're in a situation now where basically both players are only really attacking on one front, and one of them needs to break the deadlock there. We want to see an attack on 2 fronts, and as Nick just conveniently pointed out, Strelok is looking to do just that. I think this game, maybe they're really tired or something. I wouldn't blame them. They've had a lot of long games, and this is game 3 of a best of 5, so this isn't even deciding anything. And we're just not seeing that much multi-pronged aggression, really, from these guys.
No, we're not. It's really a bit of a stale game, but there's a lot on the line. They're definitely trying. Maybe they feel like drops is no longer a way to really... Oh, this could be bad for HeroMarine. The tanks are all sieged, but where's the support? These Vikings could land on top, or a few of them could land on top. The battle cruisers can even clean them up. What are these siege things doing here?
Strelok, what are you doing? The tanks need to run away. And the battle cruisers aren't actually on attack move, so they killed 2, and that was it. Oh, sieging up because he sees a couple of Marauders, but there are actually only 3 there, and that allows the battle cruisers to pick the rest of them off. Really nice stuff there from HeroMarine. And air supremacy isn't actually as one-sided as it looks. It's just because Strelok's Vikings are now in the middle of the map. The Viking count at the moment, by the way, is 19-16 in Strelok's favor, but HeroMarine has 5 battle cruisers, so edge definitely to him.
Yeah, we have to keep in mind that the upgrades for Strelok are slightly better. He has 2-2 air upgrades, whereas the air upgrades for HeroMarine are currently at 1-1. So the Vikings that Strelok does have are more potent, but he has less, and he has no battle cruisers, which is making a difference, of course. And he now even has +3 about to finish up, so the Vikings now have +3. This could be the moment that Strelok was waiting for to engage. He has that upgrade lead, and this could be the time for him to hit those battle cruisers and hit the Vikings when he has that big upgrade advantage.
See, when he had that 1 upgrade advantage, I was like, yeah, okay, but HeroMarine also has battle cruisers, and he might be able to get weapon refit and Yamato some Vikings out of the sky as well. But now that he's got +3/+2, I think Strelok really is looking for this opportunity now to hit. He takes out the Banshee, and I think he clicked on it as well, just to double check the numbers. Scans going off left, right, and center right now, and he fancies his chances here. Here we go, 2-1 upgrades versus 3-2. Will the battle cruisers hold, or will Strelok break in?
I think the battle cruisers will hold. There's just too many battle cruisers and too many Vikings. The Vikings are trying to kite back, but with as many Vikings still alive by HeroMarine, it's just not gonna work. HeroMarine grabbing himself a very nice lead in this game. There's only 2 Vikings getting away from this engagement, but at the same time, there are a few tanks still left alive. They might take out a starport, and they do, but they're gonna get cleaned up by the battle cruisers eventually. And the most important thing, the battle cruisers are not dying, Jorasar. They're staying alive all the time, and they're starting to get higher and higher in number. And the more, they're so expensive. If Strelok would be able to pick off a few of them every now and then, it might be okay, but the battle cruisers stay alive all the time, and that's really the meat of this army.
More stuff is happening around the map, but this game is getting a little bit sloppy, and I can't blame these players for being so tired. I mean, we've been here for quite a while as well, and don't forget they had to wait to play their 3rd place match as well. So scans are going down everywhere. I note that if he doesn't have battle cruisers, Strelok, okay, he's got 2 Thors now. He's got 3 Thors, and yes, finally, he's got a Raven on the way. We need to see PDDs come out from Strelok to try and account for the battle cruisers that HeroMarine has. I like this decision.
I like the decision too. Ravens can make the difference in this fight. They really can. But will they? HeroMarine is looking poised to force his way. Can he? Can he really force his way up this ramp? He has the superior army, but there are so many siege tanks in position, and there are a lot of turrets now finished up.
Yep, 3-3 upgrades versus 2-2, but we saw how potent the battlecruisers were previously. The Vikings basically need to target down the Vikings rather than the battlecruisers. The count is currently 24 to 30, and those 30 are actually in HeroMarine's favor as well, so I still think he has air superiority with those battlecruisers in the mix.
Yeah, he still does. There's some siege tanks on the right side of the map who could be attacking. There are a few Widow Mines in the mineral line of the 5th base of Strelok that are doing damage. Looks like the SCVs aren't really aware that they are there. The air battle, in the meanwhile, has commenced.
Oh, here we go.
Seeker missile hitting a lot of Vikings, but not really killing any. A lot of them are weak, though, and the Vikings can definitely not push into the missile turret wall that has been erected near the 4th, 5th base of Strelok.
Strelok's trying to work out if he can actually push in right now. He has 21 Vikings versus 24, but with superior upgrades. But he managed to pick off 2 battlecruisers, which is why he's flying around with them so much. Successfully repelling the attack of HeroMarine here, because HeroMarine is just no longer sure if he has air superiority. In the meantime, those Widow Mines at the 2 o'clock base getting cleaned up, and the Mule Hammer being dropped.
Yeah, mules is all you really need at this point in the game. The bases are starting to mine out, and you can really saturate your bases with mules if you want to. So the SCV count, not really that important anymore. And there, finally, we see the Behemoth Reactor, excuse me, go down. So those battlecruisers are going to have that that vital upgrade research right now. As we see 3 more Hellions running into the 5th base of HeroMarine, but there are a few Marauders there to defend. They should be okay.
Yeah, Marauders, well, actually, 2 of them going down there, and the Mules getting taken out. That's a lot of resources, but there is a siege tank and a couple of Marines. So just about saving the mining there. Guys, let's take stock of where we are right now. Both players are more or less maxed out, but it's important to note right now that Strelok's actually mining more than double the minerals of HeroMarine. He's only really mining from the 2 o'clock base. The 3 o'clock base only has 2 SCVs mining minerals right now, and Strelok has a lot of workers at his 9 o'clock and 8 o'clock bases, which is why he has a much higher income.
That is true. The Yamato cannon, of course, now available to the battlecruisers, and we have a lot of BCs here and a lot of Yamato cannons ready to be used. About 5 Yamatos could go down. Should use those. He could use those on the Vikings to make sure he has air superiority, or he could use them on the Thors, Ravens, siege tanks. It's really up to the situation. As more Hellbats are harassing the 5th base, man, that 5th base can really not catch a break. HeroMarine's economy is really being kept on low.
It really is, and 3-3 Hellbats actually cleaned up a worker line very quickly indeed, going up to 59 workers killed this game. It's currently 50 versus 30 worker supply. I think HeroMarine is very, very slowly letting his economy slip in this game, because he's not actually sending the rest of his workers to these 4th and 5th bases, which he has to do right now to keep his income up.
Yeah, he has to keep his income alive. He still has 1,500 minerals in the bank, but not as much
back into the 3rd he goes.
Yeah, there he goes, pushing into the 3rd, taking out that last supply depot from earlier, and now starting to take out the orbitals, and therefore limiting the income of Strelok. Strelok now scrambling to get back. Yeah, there he is. He's sending his entire ground forces back, but he's keeping his air armada with his siege tanks at his potential 6th base. The 3rd base gets taken out for Strelok, and he is losing some infrastructure. There's only 1 siege tank here to defend, and this little attack by HeroMarine, I like it. It's doing some critical damage. Well, maybe not critical, but some significant damage here. The siege tank's getting stuck on the ramp, unfortunately.
It'll be critical if it's left unchecked for another minute or 2, which is exactly why Strelok has moved everything back here. He basically needs to bum rush this and make sure it doesn't kill off any more of his production structures. That's exactly what he's doing.
The air battle in the meantime has commenced at the 6th base, and it looks like HeroMarine is convincingly crushing this, pushing through so easily. The Yamato cannons are firing. Actually, they're not really firing. Most of the battlecruisers still have full energy.
That must have been down to some pretty sick PDDs, because the Viking count was relatively similar, bar the battlecruiser. Great Yamato cannon strikes as well on those turrets, and all of a sudden HeroMarine has clawed his way back into the game as far as that earlier deficit goes. More Hellions going towards the 5th base of HeroMarine, but they preemptively get taken out by Marauders. But now, look at the rest of this army. Thors and siege tanks towards the 5th.
Uh-oh, there's only a very small bio army here. Ooh, Marauders. That was maybe not the best decision to make in your entire life. Here come another 3 siege tanks from Strelok's, kind of flanking the SCV army, and basically every SCV and mule is gonna bite the dust here. And HeroMarine effectively down to almost 0 mining. He has some minerals at his 4th base, but he is very low on income, but so is Strelok. Still mining slightly more though, is Strelok.
Oh, here come the Yamato cannons, and I'm surprised he targeted... Oh, no, actually, I'm not, because he has more than enough Yamato to take out a couple of Thors here. 3 Thors going down instantaneously. 4th, is every single Thor going to go down here? Has HeroMarine potentially won this game with battlecruisers? He only has 15 workers left compared to Strelok's 41, but his standing army is very scary indeed. 4 Ravens with the BCs as well.
Those Vikings are looking super scary together with the battlecruisers. Like I said, the battlecruisers staying alive so important, and of course those Ravens. I don't see HeroMarine losing this next engagement. I think he's looking really good. Our German Protoss player looking so good to go ahead and take this game. Might we see another kind of a base trade scenario? We see that HeroMarine is in the base of Strelok. What is Strelok gonna do? He's way out of position to defend this.
And, oh, actually, his Thors also haven't gone into high impact payload, but then again, he's targeting the Ravens at the moment. So they were doing a decent amount of splash damage to those Vikings as well. The turret's now being taken out inside the main base of Strelok. What is Strelok doing in response? He's not actually doing any damage to HeroMarine at the moment, and HeroMarine is at the production start. Oh, he lifts the factories, and the Vikings are basically two-shotting them.
Yeah, they are. This is looking very horrible for Strelok. His entire main base is getting devastated. Units get annihilated as soon as they pop out. And we see Strelok now trying to get into some kind of a defensive position, but he should realize how futile his situation is. He has a battlecruiser of his own, though. He has 1.
Yeah, the Hero Battlecruiser isn't actually going to do him too much help against this many air units from HeroMarine. 124 army supply versus 99. And he has now also gone up to 3-3 upgrade. So I think Strelok at the moment at a bit of a disadvantage, trying to kill off as much as he can on the other side of the map. His hope right now, I think, is base race.
Yeah, base race. That's the only thing he can really do. He cannot fight this up front. He can't. He doesn't have the Ravens. He doesn't have PDDs. He doesn't have the amount of Ravens that he needs. The battlecruiser army is has to be careful not to lose too many of his Vikings through the missile turrets here, and he does pull back in time. And what is Strelok really gonna do? He's not pushing into the main base of HeroMarine. Strelok is just... What is he doing? He's just running around the map, the middle of the map, picking off very small reinforcing groups, and trying to keep the infrastructure that he has at his 4th and 5th base alive.
Yeah, this is... He's not actually getting the damage he needs to get done. It looks like he's gearing up to make a final stand, but he's going to be making this final stand after all of his production structures and most of his tech has been taken out, which means that if for any reason this stand of his ends in some sort of stalemate or a draw in terms of army swapping, then HeroMarine's just going to be in a significantly better position. He'll be able to mine, he'll still have his production structures, and he'll be able to produce SCVs.
Yeah, you're right. HeroMarine still assaulting Strelok here. Here comes the fleet of Strelok. He's gonna try to target down a few BCs. Here come the Yamatos. Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. The Vikings fall down pretty much instantly to one of those Yamatos. The missile turret's doing a lot of damage, but there's so many BCs here. Where are the Ravens? The Ravens are back. Actually, where are the Ravens? The Ravens might not even be alive anymore.
Yeah, there were only 2 Ravens left on the field, and they both belong to HeroMarine. Strelok actually rushed forward with the Ravens a little bit earlier on in the engagement, and I can't believe I would live to see the day where I cast a game where someone makes a Venga Boys reference. I feel dirty now.
I'm sorry. I apologize, everyone. The Venga Boys are really good.
Are coming. Really good the Venga Boys are coming. That's
the Venga Boys are coming. Look them up on YouTube. And the reason why we're talking about Venga Boys a little bit is because this game is quite over. I mean, we see Strelok holding on for dear life, but he just doesn't have the answer for these battlecruisers, and he is still producing Vikings, but there are about 20 Vikings camped over his production facilities.
That's right. It's going to be very, very difficult for those to pop out. The Vikings are basically getting taken out as they leave the starports right now, and HeroMarine on 115 supply versus the 64 of Strelok. It's looking like he should be able to take this game, and with that, a 2-1 lead in this best of 5.
Yeah, and be that much closer to qualifying himself for I-48, the last Invitational Qualifier spot that we have up for grabs. We have another open qualifier that everyone in the whole wide world, as long as you have a Heart of the Swarm account, in coming up in not too much longer. I believe it's going to be next week that we're going to be doing. another open qualifier, so definitely check out ESETUKmasters.com and sign up for that qualifier event. But Strelok is not given up yet. He's still producing Vikings. He still has a lot of mining happening on one base, something that we have to point out. HeroMarine does not have a full base mining, so maybe Strelok can make something happen?
He's certainly trying. I mean, the 2 Ravens from HeroMarine could end up doing something quite spectacular here if we get a lot of really nice PDDs. And here we go. Oh, a battlecruiser actually getting caught out in the middle of the field here. But a couple more Yamato cannons will see to it that these Thors are going to go down. And we even have some Marine support now from HeroMarine. Down to 100 supply though versus 71.
Yeah, the siege tank's getting caught out of position. They don't even have the time to siege up. The Marines are coming in here, and all of a sudden you have a lot of Vikings and a load of missile turrets, but not really that many units to really deal with the Marines. The Thor is on 50 HP, 10 HP, it does fall, and those Marines and Marauders now becoming that much more powerful because Vikings not really good at dealing with bio, and it's so difficult. He has to leave a few Vikings on the ground to deal with the Marines and Marauders, and he has to keep a lot of them in the air too. The point defense drones are going down, helping out a big deal for HeroMarine, who is now doubling the supply of FXO Strelok.
That's right, and now he can leave the PDDs there and just basically hold his Vikings and try and pick a couple of them off while the battlecruisers hit the starports. So that's going to try and be his plan of attack. Strelok, though, is now down to 45 supply. One of his starports is about to go down. He has a lot of missile turrets, but if HeroMarine just switches into complete ground army right now, it could be very good for him. The Viking count is currently 6 to 8 in favor of HeroMarine, and with the battlecruiser there as well, it's looking dire for Strelok.
Yeah, there's no answer for those, for the 3 Marines and the 1 Marauder on the ground right now. There come a few Hellions, and they're being repaired desperately because there's so little ground forces on the field for Strelok right now. 34 supply. He has fought really, really valiantly, and he's trying to stay in this game. Oh, look at all those. Wow, where did that group of Marines come from? He was piling those up somewhere. That's all of a sudden about 43 Marines that we have marching out here, and that's going to seal the deal.
You know, it is. And those Ravens from HeroMarine, like we mentioned before, looks like they made the difference. Those PDDs meant that Strelok couldn't do the kiting he wanted to do, and these Marines are finally going to finish this game. GG, HeroMarine wins game